Now Worrell has a good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in!
Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Sacker down by the end line. Puts us across. Lose your eye! And just like that, 1-1. Now Elders may look to take a shot. He does, and he buries it! Steps up, and just like that, Reed Dennis comes up big. Lose your eye, 1-on-1. Lose your eye. Oh, he'll be taken down inside the box.
Knocks back in. Nationals got it. Bicycle kick for a goal!
Now Sacker. Sacker into the 18. Sacker shot. That goes off the goalkeeper's glove into the net. 2-1 here in the 32nd. This one played in. That's a good ball. That one goes in. And just like that, the Nationals now have a 1-0 lead. Walensky puts his far post. One-touch opportunity. And what a great goal that was.
Joaquin Beatty of Ohio League.
Look at that shot from Sevy Roy. My goodness, Sevy Roy with a left-footed banger.
We are the MHSAA, a collection of 750 high schools and 750 middle schools, from Temperance to Copper Harbor, from New Buffalo to Alpena. Each year, more than 250,000 students play one of our 28 sports. More than 1.5 million fans attend our postseason games. There are 30,000 coaches and 8,000 officials, not to mention all of the volunteers. The MHSAA believes in the 4 S's. School sports should be safe and kept in the appropriate scope. We believe nothing beats great sportsmanship, and that scholarship in the classroom is more important than excellence on the field or court. Most of all, we believe school sports should be fun. So come out and join us at a game. Support your school, support your community, and come see what the excitement is all about.
Northwestern is up from 12, now at 10.
Voice of Michigan Student Athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic students can thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stand should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game. We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports.
And respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while maintaining a high level of respect for all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game.
Are you looking to take your game to the next level? Did you know that MSN is now offering player recruitment videos? Our packages include a player profile where you show your preferred positions, the club, the league, or school that you play in, your current coach contact information, and more. The highlight videos could be self-submitted, 15 to 30 clips that will be put into a 3 to 7 minute long video. Video review of your Huddle, VO, or other platforms that you might have video on, as well as for an additional charge, MSN can come out and film games for you to create those clips. Our coach evaluation process, which is also an additional charge, where we have college coaches from various levels across the United States that will review your game film and provide feedback on how to improve that film, as well as also evaluating your play and what you can improve on. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
Our mission is to help players take their game to the next level and reach their potential.
Not only do we help develop fundamental technical skills such as ball control in tight spaces with different surfaces, dribbling at speed and changing direction, using a variety of 1v1 skills to create space, receiving on a half turn, hook turn, and out of the air, finishing off the dribbling, one-touch, volleys, and headers. We help players get comfortable performing these skills at game speed with pressure and with both their dominant and non-dominant foot. In addition, we help players with their speed of play, awareness of space, defenders and teammates, and also dominate with their off-the-ball movement. We offer a variety of services such as one-on-ones, small groups, large groups, as well as team sessions. We have an experienced coaching staff that is professional, friendly, patient, while still holding players to high standards and holding them accountable. No matter what level you're at as a player, I'm confident we can help you get better. Over the past 3 years, we've built one of the best soccer-specific training facilities in the country and developed one of the most detail-oriented programs to help out players. Visit our website.
What rhymes with great?
And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Michigan Soccer Network. We're just at kickoff time over at Oakland University for this ECNL matchup. This is game number 9 on the Michigan Soccer Network, kind of a soccer extravaganza. This is your 2012's Scout Gallagher out of St. Louis, Missouri area against the Nationals based here in Macomb County, Michigan. I'm Dan Stickerad along with my co-host Gary Macchione. We're on the call here for this final game here of this long game. It began at 8 a.m. with our very first game. We've had ECNL club games, high school boys soccer, NEIA women's soccer, and just about everything in between. So a very long day, a lot of action going on the pitch here across the beautiful state of Michigan. We even did a game out in Grand Rapids. I was on the call earlier today with Rockford Allendale back here in the Detroit area for the final game of this long but fun Saturday.
Looks like they've got they got a good pitch, and they've certainly got good weather today. Ooh.
So that is Nationals in the red and white kits going right to left. Scott Gallagher, again, out of St. Louis, Missouri. They're in the green kits going left to right.
That was a good through ball. Goalie came out, shut that down. She made the appropriate play there, but that was a little dicey for the Nationals.
Again, that's cleared out. Giovanni Mosheri did the very first game of the day, which was the U19 level, 2006-07s. Scott Gallagher prevailed over the Nationals 1-0. We've had a staggered start and finishes of games throughout the course of the morning, afternoon, and now we're into the evening hours here just before 5:30 p.m.
Run through on the attack.
Nice to see the Nationals attacking now in the. Got some good build-up right now. Ooh. Oh.
A shot on target, knocked down.
Very good shot.
Both teams kind of trading on attacks here in the early going.
Center back came out of nowhere there to steal that ball. Looks like both teams are going coast to coast here. Here's a counter attack.
Again, this is the 2012, so middle school age athletes. Tomorrow's start of the day, as I like to call it. Gallagher inside the box.
That'll be a corner kick for Scott Gallagher.
So first corner kick of the match for either side. So we're now just in the 4th minute of action. 0-0 between Scott Gallagher and the Nationals.
Good ball served in. Out on Gallagher, be a goal kick for the Nationals. Both teams look like they match up pretty well in the midfield and on top. They have some dangerous players. So it's really going to come down to some one or two good plays by either team to win this game.
A little bit of craftiness on the ball in the attack. Maybe someone will be able to beat a defender to put one home. Maybe it comes off a set piece. We'll see if there is any action at all here. We're just inside the 5th minute.
You can see that they all have good technical skills. There's a little nice give and go there. A little step over.
It amazes me when I watch young athletes and I talk about athletes that are not yet in high school, just the level of play now against the way it was when I was a kid. Again, I'm dating myself. I started playing the beautiful game in 1978 in the Rochester Youth Soccer League. It was more so dads in blue jeans and a clipboard pointing to a beehive that was just following the ball around the field, and there wasn't really much soccer involved, but we had a blast. Nowadays, young kids, even in elementary school, are very well coached. They're trained not just in soccer, but you see that in every sport across the board, Gary, where it has become so competitive that you have young kids really being coached at a high level at such a young age, and you start to see that ripple effect when players get in the middle school, they get onto a high school team, they're playing at a high level, a club, maybe in ECNL or Girls Academy, MLS Next, whatever the case is, they go on to college. You can see the level of play, how much has escalated over the last few decades. It's an amazing transformation from where it was, say, 40, 50 years ago to where it is now here in 2024.
Yeah, it's gone from, kick the ball deep and run and try and put it in the net to they're running, they're making, sophisticated runs here. Overlaps, diagonal balls played to the corner. And you can just see, look at this midfielder right now. She's checking out both sides of the field, looking, scanning it, looking for passes. You're right. Both teams are very well coached.
Again, 7th minute, National Scott Gallagher.
I don't like that ball there. That's a dangerous ball. I don't like a negative pass when there's, the other team is in your zone.
Yeah, Gary, I played marking back when I was in high school. I was once a forward and an out in midfielder or center midfielder growing up, and then I got into 11th grade because I was also a track athlete. I was moving to the backfield, but you were told at a young age, when you are a defender and you're passing the ball backward, you have to be very certain there isn't a forward standing behind you or within close range where you can make that sloppy pass. It's picked off. The other team can go down, get off a shot opportunity, even score a goal off a simple mistake of an errant pass in your backfield.
Yes. That'll drive a coach crazy, won't it?
Both teams
That's
trading
a good
off attacks.
good diagonal run there, and she's playing it in space. Oh, out of bounds. But see, it looks like Scott Gallagher's really trying to stretch our back line out and give them some holes and opportunities to play balls through. So far, the play has been generally down here in the Nationals' third. I know of the Nationals have quite a few good attacking players as well, so when he gets down there, it'll be interesting to see what they do.
And again, this is ECNL soccer. Scott Gallagher has been in the ECNL for a few years now. This is the first season, the 2024-25 season, the debut year for Nationals in the ECNL. They have spent the last several years in the Girls Academy. They were invited to move on up to the ECNL, so they are bringing in 6 age groups on the girls' side.
It looked like in that case he purposely played it off the Nationals to get that corner. That's a pretty smart play right there.
So second corner kick of the match coming up for Scott Gallagher.
The only problem with youth soccer is that you got to go fetch the ball. You know what I mean?
It's not like a college or high school game that sometimes, or even a high-level club game where there's actual ball boys or ball girls roaming the sidelines. Maybe they pay them, maybe they give them a free hot dog. But this is middle school age club soccer. It is a high level for this age group, but there are no one running the sidelines to help out. So, yeah, the players on both sides will be getting a little bit of an extra workout at a game like this.
This is a good play right here, but she didn't execute that shot.
Scott Gallagher buzzing in the box.
That's dangerous. It's dangerous. The Nationals are just, it seems like when they're trying to connect their passes right now, they're kind of stepping over the ball, stepping on it, and they're nothing clean right now for them. Once those touches become clean, they're going to get out of this zone, and they're going to make a good attack.
Scott Gallagher's been the more dangerous team here as we're now in the 11th minute. 0-0 between the Nationals and Scott Gallagher. I'm Dan Stickert along with Gary Macchione on the Michigan Soccer Network. Game number 9 of this soccer extravaganza here on this Saturday in September. It's been a long day, but a lot of fun here as I've been able on the call. We're writing stories about a wide variety of games, and feel free to like and share us on our YouTube channel with your family and friends, not just locally, but across the globe as well. And visit our website at MichiganSoccerNetwork.com for hundreds, if not thousands, of stories about the beautiful game here in the state of Michigan and beyond. So we are now into our 4th year operation here at the Michigan Soccer Network. Glad to be part of that team as well. Growing network. 3 weeks ago today, we unveiled that we will be launching the National Soccer Network here in the upcoming months. A lot in store over the next couple of years as we begin to spread our wings into a multitude of states. Scott Gallagher is set up for a free kick about 40 yards out in front of the goal.
They're holding their line here. She's going to try and chip that ball right over the top. but she didn't. Again, sometimes for the youth, that's one of the most difficult passes to make. Try and bring something up there with a nice gentle or backspin on it, a little gentle touch.
Yeah, you're looking at middle school age girls. Sometimes the skill set is there, but maybe not necessarily the strength. Of that shot goes just wide of the net. Scott Gallagher on the attack. They have had the better chances here in the first 12 minutes. That shot just wide right of the goal.
That certainly was the best attack or opportunity to score that we've seen in the game so far. And that's why those loose balls are so dangerous, or putting the ball into the box, a dangerous place. Good things can happen. Sometimes it can bounce off, the other team and go get an own goal, but very dangerous.
Here comes Kelly. We only got one goal in this game. We want to go for another. And the cross, that is blocked, so once again, he'll be a Tigers.
So throwing deep in their own territory for National. Still trying to mount much of an attack here so far as Scott Gallagher has control play here. We're in the 13th minute of this scoreless tie. Again, 9th game of the day here on the Michigan Soccer Network. We've had games with 5, 6, 7 games in one day. I think this is an all-time high of the network, which, again, it's just into its 4th season of operation, and it's going to be a great school year as we will continue to broadcast games all over the Mitten, the high school boys soccer level, at the club soccer level, multitude of games at the NAIA college level. We will continue to cover club soccer throughout the winter, even get involved in a little bit of foosball action as well, and then come the spring, we'll do the high school girls soccer, continue to do club, and then we'll do a wide variety of the amateur leagues that have been popping up here all over the country here in the last 10 to 20 years. The proud broadcast partners here at the Michigan Soccer Network, the multitude of teams and leagues within the likes of the USL League 2, USLW League,
yeah, that's
Super League, UWS. There's so many teams that we have had the pleasure of calling. Last year, I had a chance to be in the broadcast team. We went out to Leesburg, Virginia for the UPSL Final Four. That was last August. We did a game in the UPSL National Sweet 16 round about 6 weeks ago in Cleveland, Ohio. So we are expanding our wings all over the country.
Recadeo saved by Caracolda.
It's certainly exciting, to tell you the truth, with so many good games, and now that the network for soccer junkies, MSN has really provided so many games for that person who just loves to watch soccer. And as you were stating earlier today when we were talking about how many great Michigan players are out there, these days.
There's so many good clubs. I mean, we were talking about between games earlier this afternoon, we had a conversation with a group of us that, if you are an in-state college coach, do you necessarily have to go all over the country to bring in players? Because I've had college coaches across the country tell me that they feel Michigan's one of the top 10 hotbeds for recruits, and they frequently visit Michigan borders. So why wouldn't in-state college coaches, and we're talking about all levels, NCAA Division 1, 2, and 3, NAIA, National Christian College, even community college. There are teams down at the lower levels that are really good. They have some very talented players. And sometimes players, when they get to the final stages of high school, whether they're playing high school or they're playing year-round club, they see the opportunity, like, I can go play down at like the NAIA level or Division 3 and still play in a good team, but also get minutes right off the bench, where sometimes if you are an NCAA Division 1 recruit, you may not play your first year or two.
Yeah. Well, I know that in the case of my daughter, that's what she did. She preferred to go to a university where she's going to play right away, and versus waiting 3 years. Now here's a good build-up right now. There was a good combination, and if she gets this ball here, if they can get one more pass, they're stepping up, and now the ball's. It does look like the wind is having a play in this game.
Yeah, the wind is going north to south all over the state of Michigan. I had a chance, Gary, of doing a game much earlier today out in the Grand Rapids area where Allendale defeated Rockford 2-1 in a boys soccer. And that was a stiff wind. So you could see the corner flags, the flagsmen on the sidelines, even the flag up on the pole. You could see that wind really whipping. And both goalkeepers in that game, when they had the wind at their backs, they're punting the ball 50, 75 yards without effort. So you can see the effect it has had in any game at any level across the state of Michigan. That wind is surely howling.
And a lot of times if you have that wind in your favor, the first half, I mean, obviously the other coach just wants to hold on, keep it zeros until half, and then he gets the advantage. And, that's, like you said, even all the way up into the college game, that's a big factor.
So 18th minute here at beautiful Oakland University, which sits on the borderline of Rochester Hills and Auburn Hills, Michigan. Some 25 miles north of downtown Detroit. Home of the Golden Grizzlies. So this is their track and turf field up top. There is a all grass field which the university uses for its teams down below, next to the baseball and softball diamonds.
And as you were saying, talking about the college and the Michigan experience, Oakland University is a perfect example. What a beautiful campus, what a beautiful place to play. And I have to think that most of a lot of really top-level players in the state would want to play at Oakland University. I know if I was a young soccer player, that's what I would be looking at.
Oakland University men's program. All those years Gary Parsons was in charge of the Pioneers and later Golden Grizzlies. They were an NCAA Division II national powerhouse. They made the switch up to the Division I in the late 1990s for all sports, and they've still been a very good program right now. Paul Doral took over that program last spring. He played for Oakland back in the 1990s, just before they moved to a Division I school. He was an All-American player for the Pioneers, which is moved to the Golden Grizzlies when they became a Division I school. But there's a lot of soccer history here at Oakland University, a lot of soccer history at a lot of colleges across the country. We've had a lot of success. You look at the wider spectrum, Gary. Grand Valley State University women's, an absolute juggernaut, 7 national championships in a 15-year period. Right now in the men's soccer, Western Michigan University is ranked 4th in the country. Michigan State women's are 5th. A couple of years ago, Spring Arbor University won the women's national championship at the NEIA level. And there's teams at all levels. They keep producing talent. They keep producing winning teams. They advance the national tournaments. They win conference championships. They get to Final Fours. Yeah. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, because the way I see it, for someone who's worked in the media here for 32 years, I just keep seeing the game get better and better and better at all levels of soccer.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there's a wealth of talent coming up from the younger ages, so it's going to be a great pool for these college coaches to recruit from. And going back to the Oakland University discussing, a lot of the better coaches in the state at the club level were alumni of Oakland University.
We're the 21st minute here. Oakland University is the place. We have the Michigan Soccer Network. Scott Gallagher, which comes out of the St. Louis, Missouri area, dominated the first 15 minutes or so. The Nationals have picked it up. This is the 2012, so middle school age girls soccer at the ECNL level. This is the Nationals' first year in the ECNL, the highest level of club soccer offered to aspiring young girls soccer players across our great country. And Scott Gallagher has been in this league for a few years now, but even that, like ECNL became a year-round program in the early 2010s. You had the Girls Academy start about a decade ago. Both of those leagues are actually growing. They're not getting smaller, they're actually growing. We've seen the arrival of the MLS Next. It was a 8-month program. It became a 12-month program for the boys in 2012. That keeps expanding. You have more and more levels of club, NAL, Elite 64 and so on down the roster. You have more and more high schools adding soccer each and every year. So whatever level you watch, whatever level you have someone that's playing at, the overall level just keeps getting better. And I think that's, it's something that I like to see for someone who, again, started out playing youth soccer at age 6 back in the late 1970s.
Well, you're absolutely right. And you look at this right here. I know this 2012 team from the Nationals, and typically within the state, they can often dominate a game. And whereas here, the game is pretty even, and it's a much better experience for the girls having this kind of competition, right? And this is what will prepare them for, college, certainly. And some of the girls here will probably play on the Olympic development teams and ECNL All-Star games and all that, and maybe even play in the pro leagues down the road, because we've had a lot of Michigan players make it. And this is why, this level of competition.
There is a handful of players with Michigan ties playing at the highest levels, like MLS at the men's side.
Well, and you brought up Western Michigan earlier. They're on a tear over there, and and we know quite a few of the players there. I coach some of them, but it's just good to see. I mean, even more of a Division certainly Division I, but a mid-major doing so well in the sport, whereas years ago, they weren't quite as competitive, and now they're ranked 4th in the country.
Chad Wiseman's done a great job over the last dozen years or so of building that program from an average program into a staple at the NCAA Division I level. Back-to-back Sweet 16 appearance. Undefeated so far here in the 2024 season, ranked 4th in the country. They started it back in late July. They were ranked 12th in the preseason polls and able to move up. It's a great start. They've already played 4 nationally ranked teams with 3-0-1 record. They did tie Akron last weekend, but just last night they were able to defeat Northwestern 1-0. So you look at a game like this. These are like 12, 13-year-old kids. Chances are we're going to see a lot of these kids develop into college soccer players at D1 or D2 level, D3 level. You may see a pro out here. We might not be able to tell right now, but there might be a young lady here with dreams that will be realized in a decade from now as she laces up for some professional side somewhere around the globe.
Well, I coached Cecilia Steinwasser, Celia Gaynor, and back when they were this age. And, obviously they were very good players, but you can't predict what they're going to do. I mean, in the cases of both those young ladies, they just had the heart, and they were so competitive. And, maybe you don't see that quite at 10, but by 14, 15, you're like, wow. And they went on to have really great college careers, and then they went on to play pro. I know Cecilia played in Spain, and Celia plays down there now in Florida. And that's good to see. And you're right. It's these types of leagues that prepare them for that.
Yeah. And there's so many more opportunities, so many more levels of club. Even in the summer, if you are a collegiate athlete and you're done with your semester, you come back home, say April, there are a lot of leagues with literally hundreds of teams across the country where you can play from end of April into July if your team qualifies for a national tournament. Then you go right back to your colleges a couple weeks later, having played on a real good team, a real good league throughout the course of the summer. So the opportunities, Gary, are just so much more than there was years ago, and it keeps expanding. So maybe will they see the fruition at the national level, especially on the men's side, where you have to win a World Cup, or women's have been to the Final Four, won a trio of women's World Cup titles, and been to the finals a few other times. They have reaped the benefits. Now, will what happen on the men's side remains to be seen, but we've come a long way as a country in terms of just kind of the kick and chase, which came out of the late 1970s. I mean, that's all that people knew, and you've seen progression not just in soccer, other sports like. Lacrosse was never a sport in Michigan.
No.
It was just something they played out east. But here in the last 20, 25 years, there's been an explosion. And there's so many opportunities in other sports as well. It just keeps getting better and better. So as a fan who absolutely loves sports, most of their life is encompassed by sports, I'd love to see young athletes, thrive and grow up and eventually, make the pro ranks. And sometimes I'll sit back and smile and say, hey, I saw that kid play when they were in 9th grade in high school, and they played for a really good club team, and I saw them play at Division I college. There they are playing in the NBA, or there they are playing in the MLS. I've had the opportunity of watching kids that I've covered in my career move on to the highest levels of sports.
And that's, on the men's side, I will say this, like with soccer, this training is necessary because it's not just about athleticism. It's about those skills, those techniques and sometimes they have to be, passed on. Like what you're seeing now today are parents who both played soccer, right? They both come from a soccer background. Having their kids play soccer. Like I'm coaching sometimes today, the grandkids or the right of players I had way back, and you didn't, like you were talking about when you started, you didn't see that. So the sport is becoming generational now, and it's just we're going to start developing even greater players.
So. Scoreless tie here late in the first half. We're now in the 28th minute here at Oakland University in Rochester Hills, Michigan. Again, Dan Sticker, the web and content editor and director of news of the Michigan Soccer Network, along with my broadcast partner for the final game of this 9-game set in the Michigan Soccer Network, Mr. Gary Macchione. It's been a long but very fun day here on the call, interviewing coaches on the phone, watching a lot of different levels of soccer. Scott Gallagher came out and dominated the first 15 minutes. Nationals have kind of leveled it up here, but we're still at a scoreless game in the 29th minute. These are 2012, so middle school athletes would be 35-minute halves.
Looks like the Nationals defender, those left or center back, are now figuring out that through ball that Scott Gallagher likes to make over there on that right side. Kind of a diagonal run through ball. She just stepped in, took care of that. And a lot of times when that's done, you start shutting down the other team. Some speed here, getting around that. Oh, made a nice move. This is dangerous. Oh.
A lot of work on that play, spinning, maneuvering through traffic inside the box, but the ball spins out of bounds for the goal kick for the Nationals, so Scott Gallagher denied once again. They've had the better of the chances in this contest, even though there's only a 3-2 shots advantage. We're now in the 30th minute of this 2012's girls ECNL soccer. Nationals and Scott Gallagher. We just had the completion of an NAIA women's soccer game featuring 2 in-state teams, Rochester Christian University, Olivet Nazarene. That game ended in a 1-1 draw, I'm told, so both those teams still winless on the season. Both sides have played a very, very tough schedule here in the first 3 weeks of the season, but still unable to gain that first elusive win. The Warriors and the Tigers finishing at a 1-1 stalemate.
There's another dangerous ball.
Scott Gallagher again pushing the ball inside the box. They've been able to do that on several occasions in the first 30.5 minutes of this contest, just unable to get many scoring opportunities out of those services into the box.
Oh, it looks like the national players are having a difficult time kicking the ball into space. Instead, they're hitting other humans.
You could see the Scott Gallagher players really starting to close in on those balls. Now, not giving a lot of real estate up to the Nationals, who are trying to get the ball over midfield.
Well, the thing that the Gallagher is doing, they step in front of the National players when they dribble and so just take them out of their, right off there. There's another example. They just stole that ball, cut in front. So I think the Nationals are going to have to make. There's a good pass. That run there, this could be dangerous.
Just out of bounds. So Nationals trying to break down Scott Gallagher's defense. Just unable to get the ball into the final third of the field. Like to send our well wishes to Premier Media Group and Michigan Soccer Network Director of Broadcasting, John Turner, who has fallen ill this week. He's been out of commission for a couple days. We wish him a speedy recovery and hope to see him back in the office and back into the broadcast booth here in the near future. So it's been a makeshift staff here this weekend as we were a little bit short-staffed, but we have made do with the available bodies, and I am the director of news and the web and content editor, not necessarily a play-by-play commentator, but filling in.
Doing a great job.
Trying to make sure we have commentary in as many games as possible. So this is my third game of the day.
At this age group too, it's kind of neat to see. But you have the different sizes of the young ladies. You have some really big girls, and then you have the smaller girls, real quick. Within a year or so, they'll all probably be close to the same size. But there's some disparity out there.
So 34th minute, we're in the business end of the first half, the final couple minutes of this scoreless stalemate between Nationals and Scott Gallagher. Oakland University, Rochester Hills, Michigan, again, about 25 miles, a little bit northwest of downtown Detroit. A little camera freeze there for momentarily. So both teams have had 2 shots overall and 1 on target, and Scott Gallagher has the game's only 2 corner kicks. Nationals trying to get out of their end of the field once again.
That's where they've had difficulty connecting that pass from the back line into a midfielder's feet. The wind might be having something to do with that. Oop, there's a foul. This could be a dangerous set piece here if she gets it up in the air and someone can get a header on it.
So this is about just under 40 yards out in front of the goal. So Scott Gallagher is playing with the wind at their backs here in the waning seconds of the first half. So you get this ball high up in the wind, maybe it travels into the box. They can try to work a little bit of magic.
She did the right thing. She just didn't get deep enough.
And sometimes you look at, again, these are middle school age athletes. Sometimes the skill set is being developed. They may necessarily not have the strength or the size as maybe someone that would be in the high school level. I cover a lot of different levels of soccer. So, I'm used to more of the high school and high level club and then the USL League 2 and college game against per se middle school club soccer, but you definitely can see sometimes the talented athletes coming out of these clubs. That should do it for the first half here at Oakland University. No score between the Nationals out of Macomb, Michigan, and Scott Gallagher out of St. Louis, Missouri. Dan Stickrad and Gary Macchione. We will take a step aside for a halftime break, and we'll be back for the second half on the Michigan Soccer Network.
to take your game to the next level. Did you know that MSN is now offering player recruitment videos? Our packages include a player profile where you show your preferred positions, the club, the league, or school that you play in, your current coach contact information, and more. The highlight videos could be self-submitted, 15 to 30 clips that will be put into a 3 to 7 minute long video. Video review of your Huddle, VO, or other platforms that you might have video on, as well as for an additional charge, MSN can come out and film games for you to create those clips. Our coach evaluation process, which is also an additional charge, where we have college coaches from various levels across the United States that will review your game film and provide feedback on how to improve that film, as well as also evaluating your play and what you can improve on. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
I'm a husband. I'm a father.
I'm a sister.
I'm a son. I'm a brother.
I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a referee.
I'm a referee.
I am a referee.
I'm a referee.
Now Worrell has a good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in! Granite City Food and Brewery has 2 Michigan locations in Troy and Northville. Serves made-from-scratch food, brews in-house beer, and even has brunch every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. To learn more about their daily specials or to book a private party, visit gcfb.com. Make sure you head over to Granite City in Northville at the corner of 7 Mile and Haggerty, or the Troy location at 16 Mile and I-75.
Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
Our mission is to help players take their game to the next level and reach their potential.
Not only do we help develop fundamental technical skills such as ball control in tight spaces with different surfaces, dribbling at speed and changing direction, using a variety of 1v1 skills to create space, receiving on a half turn, hook turn, and out of the air, finishing off the dribbling, one-touch, volleys, and headers. We help players get comfortable performing these skills at game speed with pressure and with both their dominant and non-dominant foot. In addition, we help players with their speed of play, awareness of space, defenders and teammates, and also dominate with our off-the-ball movement. We offer a variety of services such as one-on-ones, small groups, large groups, as well as team sessions. We have an experienced coaching staff that is professional, friendly, patient, while still holding players to high standards and holding them accountable. No matter what level you're at as a player, I'm confident we can help you get better. Over the past 3 years, we've built one of the best soccer-specific training facilities in the country and developed one of the most detail-oriented programs to help out players. Visit our website.
Michigan Soccer Network, man! DCFC!
The sights, the sounds of historic Keyworth Stadium. There's nothing quite like it. Each week, Jonathan Turner and Neil Rule will break down the most recent Detroit City FC USL Championship match, taking a look at the Eastern Conference standings, looking ahead to their upcoming match, and much more. Watch the Detroit City FC recap show each week on the Michigan Soccer Network.
Let's go City on the Michigan Soccer Network.
You are watching the Michigan Soccer Network. Come on, City.
Now Worrell has a good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in! He'll cut it back on his left foot, and that goes in! Towards the 6, a one-time shot, and it's 2. Now one with Etheridge! What a save! One-time shot! My goodness! 1-5.
So welcome back, everybody, on the Michigan Soccer Network. The second half just underway here at Oakland University. This is game 9 of a 9-game set across the state of Michigan on the network. This is the 2012 girls ECNL soccer between the Nationals and Scott Gallagher. We're at a 0-0 stalemate here in just the first minute of the second half. Dan Stickrad, the web and content editor and director of news of the Michigan Soccer Network, glad to be on the call today with the legendary Gary Macchione, a longtime coach here in the beautiful state of Michigan. To my right. And again, we're still at a 0-0 tie. Scott Gallagher had the better of the chances, more possession in the first half, but the Nationals will have the wind at their backs to start the second half. They're in the white kits going left to right. Scott Gallagher is in the green kits going right to left. As you can see, not just fans outside the stadium, but a bunch of deer just ran by in the upper right-hand corner. As there is literally legions and legions of deers on the beautiful campus of Oakland University, which sits, about 25 miles north of Detroit.
Yes, I remember them running through the fields when I was coaching. That's the only time you really don't want to see them. You don't want the kids to get trampled on.
First corner kick of the second half coming up for Scott Gallagher, third of the game. Sometimes I get so used to calling games of like high school teams and collegiate teams and even amateur teams where there is a nickname. Not a lot of the clubs don't necessarily have a nickname.
Yeah.
You know, they're not the Eagles. They're not the Trojans. They're,
Yeah, exactly.
they're not the Wildcats.
There's a dangerous ball right. Oh, that was a big time save right there. That was a good shot. Let's see if they could win some battles out here. Our forwards can win a couple battles and hold those balls at Nationals. They're going to create some problem. Here looks like a pretty good run here now. But see that their midfielder came back and defended and stole that ball. That's always good to see when you have the players that going up and down, north and south. Two-way players, coaches like to refer to them. Too often the youth player wants to just go forward, right?
Scott Gallagher maintaining possession.
They're stepping in there nice. Now, if she would have connected that ball, if she can get that, that's some good speed there. It's a good battle. That should be a corner kick. Yeah, I think it is.
So first corner kick of the match coming up for Nationals here at the beginning of the second half. Off the efforts of Malia Valdebrella. Kind of pick off that pass, got it down on the corner, and earn a deflection. So Penelope Silva near the corner flag to take the set piece. 39th minute.
She gets it up in there. Oh.
Again, these are 35-minute halves. These are middle school age ECNL players, 2012s.
And the girls are now playing on, they're coming off seasons where they played 9v9, smaller field, smaller pitch. Here they're playing on this big field. Got to get used to it a little bit. Big difference.
You know, the older you get, there's more adjustments, not just the field sizes in soccer level competition.
Yep.
Longer halves. The older you get in club soccer, high school soccer, collegiate soccer, you get to 40-minute, 45-minute halves. You start to see a lot more travel, where you're not just playing, teams in your own state or just neighboring states. A lot of these club teams will travel different parts across the country.
Playing in those regional leagues, yes. But a lot of times girls, players that play on smaller fields have a lot of success. They can dominate. I've seen players shooting from midfield and scoring goals, but you can't do that 11v11, right? It's much harder to dominate. So you've got to find your place now on the field, and it takes some time to adjust.
Much more strategic on a full field. As we cross into the 41st minute here in the Michigan Soccer Network.
Certainly the Nationals are coming out. That's a good ball right there. Just a
little bit too much pace on that through ball, but nice effort by the Nationals. They have been somewhat outplayed here in the match by Scott Gallagher, but they have definitely picked up the pace here to begin the second half.
That may have been the most dangerous ball. Early in the game, there was one good through ball by Scott Gallagher, but that ball there was... if the left winger there read that a little bit better, that would have been I think she would have got a shot off. But yeah, you can see the Nationals are now pressing. The ball's down in Scott Gallagher's zone more.
Nationals playing with the ball at their backs. The wind is blowing straight south. It has a little bit of effect on all the games I've had the pleasure of calling here throughout the course of this long marathon day.
There's a good ball. You got two runners there. Someone's going to have to angle her off. It's going to lead to, I think, a corner. No, saves it for throwing.
Scott Gallagher looking to counterattack. They had 3 shots and a pair of corner kicks in the first half, but unable to capitalize. And when you have such a stiff wind, Scott Gallagher was not able to, use that to their advantage. Now Nationals has the win at their backs,
See what they can do here.
Again, for 12 and 13-year-old girls, those as a goalkeeper, that net can seem pretty big around you when you're not that tall.
That didn't look like a good throw.
That looked like not
like a basketball push pass. The referee letting a few things go. Remember, he's had a long day too, probably reffing quite a few games.
This is the 9th and final game here on the Michigan Soccer Network. We had one of my broadcast colleagues, Mr. Giovanni Moscheri. He covered a game at 8 a.m. That was U19, so 2006-07s. That was an ECNL girls game between Nationals and Scott Gallagher. I was on the call for a high school boys soccer game, which kicked off a little bit past noon today. That was out in the Grand Rapids area with Rockford and Allendale. Back in the town, was able to help out. Was part of the Rochester University Olivet Nazarene contest, and
this girl, this is a good run. She's got a lot of space, and nobody is. So a youth mistake there, just shooting right at that goalie. But and in the case of the defenders, you have to pick up the person with the ball, the most dangerous player, and they didn't. They let her attack.
So great effort by Madeline Manriquez. Scott Gallagher, she's able to kind of be crafty with the ball, go up the center of the park, beat a couple defenders, just not enough pace on that shot as the Nationals defense closed in. Looks like the Nationals earned a corner kick. That ball was really close to the corner flag. The goal kick coming up for homestanding Nationals, and we're still 0-0. Scott Gallagher, Nationals here at Oakland University. 2012's girls soccer ECNL level.
And you see what's going on here is that the Nationals, typically on a 11v11 field, goalie's going to send the ball up to at least a 50 on the punt or the kick, and the goal kick. I mean, and here they're playing it out wide and building from the back, and it's very difficult for young defenders to work that ball up the field versus getting a pass or a punt from the goalie and starting at the 50. It's a wild shot there. A little too ambitious on her part. I'd rather see that ball just played back into the box, and then something good might happen.
Yeah, at this age, sometimes you might not have the strength to uncork one from 40 yards out. At least with accuracy, so that ball sails harmlessly wide right at the goal. Another goal kick coming up for the Nationals. 46th minute. Again, these are two 35-minute halves at this age group. Scott Gallagher with the throw in deep in Nationals territory.
Yeah, like Detroit, St. Louis has a myriad of clubs there, like Scott Gallagher. They put out a very good soccer product, a very competitive area for soccer. I've been playing up against clubs like Scott Gallagher, Lou Fuzz, and a few others that the games are always like this. They're going to come down to one goal.
You start mentioning some of the clubs around the Midwest. I think it was either last year or 2 years ago. I was on the website, so one of the national sites, either Top Drawer or the Soccer Wire, and one of those publications published like the top 100 most successful clubs of the last few years. Multitude of Michigan-based clubs on that list, but a lot of those programs were from the Midwest. Very interesting read in terms of. Now I'm not sure what the barometer was, what they did to put together that list.
That's a nice ball right there.
A lot of clubs, you follow any level of club soccer, and some of the clubs keep winning on all different levels.
I will say that I believe the game changed in the Midwest, especially here in Michigan. You really have to thank the investors. I think the building of arenas for indoor soccer so kids could play year-round really started developing. I know when I lived in California, we were playing year-round out there. But when I came back to Michigan, it was, just spring and fall until the arenas were built. And you've seen a big change in the game. I know, like, the first national championship that the Nationals won, it was, they were playing against a California team that had club that had never lost in a final. And it was really based on the fact that we were training as much as they were. And there was no advantage. And then just came down to one penalty shot.
So not just the elevation of talent, but the elevation of very good year-round facilities. I had a pleasure as a journalist sitting in a SUV. It was 101 degrees out back in July of 2007. They had already broken ground and beginning to build construction for the Ultimate Soccer Arenas, which is now United Wholesale Mortgage. That's over in Pontiac, Michigan, not too far away from where we're at right now, just a few miles away. And that's really, you start to see a lot of those types of facilities being built around the Midwest here in Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, and states, neighboring. And I really think that has really aided a lot of these soccer teams. I mean, United Wholesale Mortgage also has, volleyball courts inside, as well as club volleyball has really escalated in our state as well. But
yeah,
it's just something that I never had the pleasure. When I grew up, again, I started playing in the late 1970s as a kid. Grew up playing in rec leagues. There wasn't much of travel soccer in the early to mid 1980s. A couple of my friends were able to latch on the teams. More travel for sports was more like baseball in this area. But the fields weren't always great. You were playing at elementary schools. You were playing at middle schools that were football, fields. No one ever got a chance to play youth soccer on a high school field. But now you have all these facilities in the last 20 years. Over 200 high schools in Michigan, if not more, have turf fields, and more being added every year. You have colleges who have multiple turf fields on their campuses. So the availability of quality fields, and then especially in the winter months, players like this from the Nationals and Scott Gallagher and some of the other good clubs, they have a chance to, at least train year-round, if not be able to play games throughout the winter months. If you have these massive facilities with multiple fields indoors.
Yep. Yeah, like the investors are sort of the unsung heroes. And, if you go back in time and, like Total Soccer was very instrumental in the development of the game, and maybe one of the first smaller arenas. And then, of course, like you said, Ultimate and now UW or United Wholesale, they've done a great job there too. It's just been more and more money in the game, and the play has gone up.
And we'll see if there's more facilities continue to be built across the Midwest and here in Michigan. So we are in the 51st minute, just seconds away for the 52nd minute. This is a 70-minute match, so Scott Gallagher 0, National 0. No goals in this match. The opportunities have been slim to none for either side. Scott Gallagher has a 5-2 shots advantage. But both teams just combining for one shot on goal apiece. And Scott Gallagher has a 3-1 edge on corner kicks as the Nationals turn it over deep in their own territory.
There's a lot of cutting into pressure, too. I see it by both teams, which leads to bad things. Steals and counters. This midfielder, she's good on the ball.
As the sun is setting behind us, we're getting into the evening hours. It's making it very difficult to read the jersey numbers on the backs in the last couple games of this 9-game set here at the Michigan Soccer Network. There's a couple players being subbed off the field here in the background. That wind is still howling to the south. You can see the corner flag up by the score bug.
Looks like the ref has gloves on too, so it's a chilly wind.
Yeah, if you're an official, you do 4 or 5 games on a Saturday morning, afternoon, and evening. Much more comfortable in a broadcast booth than it is racing up and down in the field. So hats off to the officials for braving the weather, because Pure Michigan has definitely reared its head here today across the state of Michigan. We were just in 80-degree temperatures just a few days ago, and it's been an up and down year since the beginning of March into September. I don't recall seeing this much rain over a 6-month period as we've had here in Michigan here in 2024. So.
The landscapers love it, but
a few extra rounds of cutting the grass if you are a landscaper.
You brought up the referees, and that was good too. We forget about what a great job they do for the game.
Yeah, those are more unsung heroes when it comes to sports. I can't tell how many times in my life I've sat at a soccer game. I have been courtside for a basketball game, and all you hear is the chants from a couple overzealous parents, call it both ways or worse.
Yeah.
I've seen parents literally walked out of stadiums or gymnasiums and field houses because they just can't control their mouth. They can't control their behavior. So these officials are not paid a lot of money. They're out here just to try to help out, because you cannot have all these soccer leagues and volleyball leagues and everything else in between without, game officials. And there are times there is a shortage in certain sports where they just don't have enough, and the need is. So if you're a young athlete just out of college or even in college or high school and you want to make some extra money and become an official.
Oh, yes. Especially at a tournament, you can do pretty well. Oh, that should be a goal kick.
That ball rolls out of play.
I always tell the parents, if you're going to say something, make sure it's clever. If you say a cliche, then they should escort you right out of the facility. But still, like you said, the referees. There was almost a nice steal there.
Both teams kind of flirting with disaster a little bit with these trying to dribble it out of the backfield. Still no score in this match. So we're now just seconds away from the 55th minute here at Oakland University. National Scott Gallagher 2012's scoreless tie with about 16 minutes left.
See the national coaches getting a little bit more animated now, moving their players around. That's an example right there of a negative ball to a player that's under pressure. And that's never good. But like you said, in a few years, they won't do that. But there's another one, right?
Both teams kind of trading off attacks here. The ball bouncing around like a ping pong ball here the last minute or so.
That's a good turn right there.
Scott Gallagher trying to get the ball down on the box, but quickly dispossessed. National defense is held strong as well.
This is dangerous right here. Oh. She played that back to the 6-yard line. Maybe they could have got a head on that.
So Josie Smith, the national goalkeeper, comes out to corral that cross. Keep this game scoreless. Again, not a lot of scoring opportunities for either side in this match here in the Michigan Soccer Network. Scott Gallagher came out, control play the first 15 minutes of the first half, and then the Nationals were able to kind of level the play in the winning minutes of the first half. And in the second half, it's been pretty much both teams kind of trading off possession, trading off attacks. Here in the second half, Scott Gallagher has a 2-0 shots advantage. Even with the win on their backs, Nationals just unable to generate much of any type of offense or flow whatsoever.
They got to connect one or two passes, and it just everything for the Nationals seems to be a little bit out of rhythm. They're one. Now one more. See.
You know, as a veteran coach, Gary, what would you like to see, like, as the game keeps evolving and more levels are added to the soccer pyramid? Are there anything, as a longtime coach, has been a huge fan of our sport, what would you like to see different, or is there anything that needs to be changed, or is it just keep doing what we're doing? We have a lot of very successful clubs and programs here across the state of Michigan. Is there anything that you could see that maybe long-term that might be beneficial, at least at the international level, what we could do differently here?
Well, I not so much on the girls' side, because they're in the mix, they're competitive, and they're pretty even with the rest of the world, right? Having one girl to beat there, but on the men's side, obviously we're far behind as far as we could develop defenders, we develop goalies pretty well. But it's really in the midfield and with the forwards to develop the type of player at a world class level. There's got to be a different approach in my mind. And
is there too much, not like enough craftiness, not enough flair with our, like, the American forward, not a much of these, you watch some of the international stars, they generally on the offensive end do not come from the United States, especially on the men's side.
Right.
Is there something that we could do differently to kind of generate that type of player? Is there something that the soccer community as a whole is kind of missing?
I always said if I were in charge of the male on the men's side, I'd get guys like some of these really good foot skill trainers, like someone like an Aaron Bird. He's got the next level program, and give him like a group of boys that he works with year after year. You find your craftiest types of players and have him work with them over a long period of time, and see how it works. Like have them play a certain amount of games every year, and try to go that route with a more skilled player. Oftentimes, the smaller skilled player is pushed out of the game for the sake of winning in the youth program, right? And so you're basically pushing guys up at the higher levels that are really good athletes. But as you know, they have good athletes in Brazil. They have good athletes anywhere in the world, Argentina, overseas. But they're just better with the ball. So when you get the combination of that, and then you have this other, where players are just sort of playing soccer their whole career, and their dads played soccer and their grandparents. They just have a knowledge for the game. They have a high soccer IQ, we call it. And I think if we did something like that, we could develop these types of players. I think it'd be a better approach.
Scott Gallagher has earned the free kick just on their side of the field. Time is running out on both sides as we're now in the 60th minute. Scott Gallagher Nationals tied at 0.
There's a nice turn there. Oh, that's a couple good combinations here. We got some dangerous things going on. 3-4 passes.
It seems at times in this game, both teams will be able to put together 3 or 4 passes, but then they ultimately just turn it over with an errant pass. Some of that's a credit to the defenses of both teams. Some of it's just, a little bit of sloppiness or not understanding your surroundings, where the open space is. Again, this is middle school age soccer, so you are seeing very good skilled players at this age. And you will continue to see these kids, develop over the next few years. But
it's easier to destroy, I always tell people, than to create. Mm-hmm. So the defense always has the edge in the early years. And that's what we're talking about. To create great soccer through combination player stuff, it takes years. And my coach always taught me that. I was very thankful you referred to me as a legendary player. No one ever said that about me. But truly a legendary coach that I knew that helped me out a lot was Rocco Mitkov. And then, of course, I trained under Falah Hassan, two great players, and they taught me the game. And that's what they always spoke about. But, right now, the defenders have the edge.
In a lot of colleges, they have a tendency, especially on the men's side, to recruit larger, more physical players.
This was a
great opportunity for Scott Gallagher. That shot goes just wide right of the goal.
See, in that case, as a coach, she shot for the corner. She missed it, but I'd rather see them do that than put it right at the goalie, For some reason, those youth players, they get a little nervous right around that net, and they always shoot right at that goalie.
Madeline Ray-Guique is one of the most dangerous players for Scott Gallagher. She's had a trio of shots in this game. Only one of them been on target, but she's been a very dangerous player. Just a little bit unlucky as both teams have been a little bit snake bit in the final third of the field.
Well, so I just was watching here, and the national players, the Scott Gallagher defenders are right on their backs. They don't give them any room to, and oftentimes there's nowhere for that player to turn, and often they're just turning right into pressure, making it very hard for them to advance the ball up the field. That's good coaching.
I guess one of the things that I've noticed, especially you take college soccer and types of recruits that a lot of teams are playing in. Do you, in men's soccer, do you take that 6'4" kid who can win every head ball, who's just a physical specimen, has good speed, or do you look for that 5'7" kid that just got magical ball skills, that can weave in and out of traffic, very crafty, but doesn't have the physicality? Sometimes players like that, they are very good at the youth level, but they get into college. Sometimes they excel. Sometimes they can't handle the physical side of it. So is there something there that maybe we could improve upon as well? I've often thought about that, maybe that there's too much concentration on size and not necessarily on some of the craftiness.
Yeah, size. I've seen often in the ODP programs and college, and that you see this where the big boy's picked up. He's faster, he's stronger, and can crack a ball from 30 or 40 out. But I would say the 5'6" player that's really not much at 17, 18. He has good skills, but hasn't developed muscles. But 4 years later, that player is going to be the better player. It's going to be a bigger asset in the college game or pro.
So sometimes it might be just using your size or lack thereof to your advantage, depending on the case.
But sometimes, you don't always want to blame it on the recruiters at colleges because, they're under pressure. College coaches are under pressure to win games. It's not like people walk up, say, you had another bad season. So they're under pressure. And that goalie. That was a big-time play right there.
So Josie Smith comes off, knocks the shot away, and then
come off her line and made a big play.
And she also reached to her left to snare that loose ball before anything else happens.
That might have saved the game right there.
So 66th minute. We're inside the final 4 minutes of this 2012 matchup between Scott Gallagher and the Nationals. The ninth and final game here on the Michigan Soccer Network. Again, I'm Dan Stickrad, the web and content editor and director of news, along with longtime club soccer coach Gary Macchione. Glad to be on the call here for this game at beautiful Oakland University. It's where I went to college. I've seen a multitude, I would say literally hundreds of sports games in my life. At Oakland University, I remember being a young kid in the early 1980s, and down below there was just a field littered with soccer games every Saturday and Sunday morning throughout the spring and fall months.
Yeah, they had lower fields. That's where all the games would be. Upper field usually were for training.
And now they have 2 different turf fields here in the track stadium, and there's another one behind us to the west where a lot of the intramural and club teams play on campus. They also rent out those fields as well. Nationals starting to pick up the possession here.
There's a dangerous loss. Steal right there. Oh, see that play, if that pass is executed, he's probably going to be in.
We talked about that earlier in the broadcast where you can have 3, 4, 5 good passes together, but a kind of a lazy, sloppy pass backwards. The other team intercepts that pass and gets on the attack, the counterattack in a hurry. Now neither team's been able to capitalize in this match, but sometimes those turnovers can be absolutely lethal. And once a team scores off a bad pass, that can open the floodgates. The momentum can switch on a dime.
Yep. I would say right now, if the Nationals walk away with the tie, that I would give the MVP, or we call top dog award, to that the goalie. Yep. She made a very smart decision, and then again, it comes down to her soccer IQ. I mean, to read that she did the right play right at the right time. She didn't sit back on her line, and that's what saved it.
There's a lot of pressure. If you're a goalkeeper in soccer or hockey, you're the last line of defense. So you make the saves, or you make the great saves, you keep your game close, you end up, having a late game save to, preserve a win. You are the hero, you are the MVP, but you let a goal in early and you lose 1-0. Sometimes a little bit of the pressure goes on the goalkeeper. No, a lot of the times it's not necessarily their fault. It might have been a mistake in the midfield. It might have been a mistake on one of the outside marking backs as the Nationals get set for a set piece deep into Scott Gallagher territories. We're now in the 69th minute. Really
the toughest, it's really the goalie parent that has the toughest job in a game. They get more stressed out than anyone. But you're right. If you make a mistake as a goalie, everyone knows about it, right? No. That ball should have been lofted up high and let someone run on it.
So another wasted opportunity for the Nationals. That was just their first shot on target, but that should have been more of a chip shot into the 6, into the 10-yard mark, and try to get a shot off after that. That ball went over traffic right to the goalkeeper.
Put it in a dangerous place. Let some confusion enter into the game, and maybe you get a break off it. But this is stuff they're going to have to learn. So
Eilina Coletta with her first save of the second half, and just her second save of the match overall. And it looks like we have come to a close here at Oakland University. So the final matchup of this extravaganza of a soccer here in the Michigan Soccer Network ends in a 0-0 stalemate. Nationals 0, Scott Gallagher 0 at the ECNL level. 2012s. No goals in this match as both teams shake hands. So once again, I'd like to thank our entire broadcast crew that met at the studio at just after 6 a.m. to begin preparations for all the games here in the Michigan Soccer Network. I'd like to thank my co-host, Gary Macchione, here in the final game of this 9-game set. I'm Dan Stickrad, the Web and Content Editor and Director of News of the Michigan Soccer Network, thanking each and one of you for tuning into the network today across the state of Michigan to be part of our various broadcasts. So once again, the final game, the final score, Nationals 0, Scott Gallagher 0. Have a great rest of your Saturday and enjoy your weekend. So long, everybody.